Hey, what's up, guys? Jake Stone. This weekend I had a chance to go jump on the 2018 YZ450F and play around with the mapping on it. Right here I'm kind of going to show you guys the actual app on the phone that you can connect to your bike with Wi-Fi. It's super cool. At the bottom, kind of hard to see with this video, but you can take notes actually right through here. Mapping, that's your notepad right there. No notes that we've written down yet. This is kind of your throttle and your speed. When you connect to the bike, it'll actually show a lot more. This is kind of, once you connect to your bike, it'll show how many hours you have. Kind of tells you on your engine oil, your oil filter, piston, air filter. So you can kind of actually calculate, or instead of calculating, you can actually look on your phone and figure out when you actually need to change your oil. Here's some of the map settings: hard hitting for Lomi, linear torque for hard pack, and then smooth linear for slippy. I don't know why it says slippy. It should say slippery or something. But then you got stock. Once you're connected to your bike, you can connect one of those directly to it. Right here is super cool. This shows your throttle, so write those numbers on the left. 20% throttle. If you want more throttle at 20%, you can bump it up a number, and that'll give you a little more power. Or if you're at 40% throttle and you want more power, you can give it another number. You know, bump your power up. Super simple, pretty cool, fun to use. Here's the stock mapping. I rode it last weekend. If you saw my video that I did of a review on the bike, I kept it on stock the whole time. We didn't really mess with it, but still was pretty fun. So at OMC, we kind of were messing around with it. I did a lap on each of those settings, I believe. Can't remember. I think hard hitting was my favorite. That one felt like you could be really lazy on the throttle. Still kind of, I don't know, it just felt smooth. In this video, we're kind of, each lap I'll stop right here and we'll switch it over. So basically you just kill the bike, and my dad right there, this is his bike, he's on his phone, and he literally just switches it right there, and it'll tell you right on the app when it switches, and pretty much it's ready to go. Start your bike up and go. This one's smooth linear. That was the next one I did after stock. It was smoother than stock. The only thing that really felt different was rolling into the corners. It didn't have very much compression. This straightaway is super fast. I think I clicked fourth with this one, and then shifted down to third right through here. And stock and any of the other ones actually had a lot of braking compression coming into that corner, but coming into the corners with this smooth linear, it didn't have too much compression, so it was kind of weird. Felt like you're almost on a two-stroke, I guess, which I guess would make it smoother. I don't know. I kind of like the compression braking. Gives me a little more confidence coming into these turns. This is only my second time on the bike, so it wasn't going super fast. It was just kind of really getting a feel for the power on the bike. Track was actually pretty fun. Doesn't have very many big jumps. It's actually pretty bumpy this time compared to the last time I rode the bike, so I was able to actually kind of feel the suspension a little better and get a feel for the balance of the bike. Coming out of these corners, using that rear wheel to steer the bike out of some of those longer loamy corners was actually really fun on this bike. I am a Yamaha guy. I am on a CRF 450R now, just because I personally like the bike a lot better than the Yamaha. I can ride it faster and smoother, but I am a Yamaha guy. So jumping back on this bike, I still like everything Yamaha has put out. Coming through some of those ruts, the balance of the bike doesn't feel as good as the Honda. I think they still got some work to do in the future, but the suspension and the flex of the chassis, and obviously the motor, that power is amazing. And that new mapping technology that they have, where you can connect your phone through an app through Wi-Fi to the actual bike at the track, and you can literally plug in your lap times into that app. You can plug pretty much anything and it shows your hours and everything. So on this next lap, let's see. So we set this one to hard hitting. This was one of my favorite. It actually was my favorite. Like I said, I felt like I could be pretty lazy on the throttle, waiting for some riders to go by. I didn't want to jump on behind a bunch of slow guys, so kind of just sat there for a second. Don't know what the heck that kid is doing. He's gonna run into me or something. But. So this straightaway, like I said, I was clicking fourth, and with this hard hitting setting, I actually kept it in third this whole time. So, but being back into hard hitting, it actually had compression braking coming back into the turns. Coming into some of these tighter turns that were there and some of the slower turns, I left it in third actually and was able to keep it into a lower gear, or I guess a higher gear, and still have the power to get out, whereas in some of those tight corners I was having to shift down into second. I don't know if you can hear a difference. I can't really hear a difference. You can definitely feel a difference though. On the Honda, I know there's a stock, or my bike, there's a stock setting, and then a slow mapping, and then a fast mapping, and then you could only tell the difference in the fast mapping, I thought, when you get into the top of like third and fourth gear. It felt super fast, but other than that, as far as torque goes, the mapping really didn't feel like it changed the bike. Mapping on this Yamaha, actually, you can actually really feel it, even probably just gassing it up and down a straightaway in a parking lot or something. You could probably feel the difference in the power and the way it felt and the way it would jump out of corners and everything like that. So it was super noticeable. They did a really good job of making it super sensitive and kind of having just a different style of being able to change your mapping, I guess. It's kind of a cool technology. But the suspension on this bike, like I said, is amazing. Those rollers were super square edged at the bottom of them, and that Yamaha suspension, that KYB stuff, was just soaking it up. So once again, we killed the bike. I was wiping off my GoPro because I thought I got roosted, making sure there was no dirt on it. But he's switching the setting right here. It does take a second to load. It actually doesn't take as long as I thought it was gonna. And right when it says it's loaded on the phone, it's loaded on the bike, so there's no hesitation there.
You like that one? That was my favorite too so far, but this is the one that I haven't tried yet. You're good.
This next one he loaded is the Torque Linear, which was, I believe, for hard pack stuff. Exactly. This mapping didn't feel a whole lot different from the hard hitting. The hard hitting felt like it was hard hitting everywhere. So like in the top end, it felt like if you just pinned it, it would be hard hitting. Bottom end, you could be friggin' fourth gear in a corner and it felt like it would hit. This one, this Torque Linear, felt like it had a nice roll on with a lot of power in the low end, but once you got into the top end, it felt stock. So there was nothing really huge there or anything really different from the hard hitting, except for the lack of hard hitting, I guess, in the top end. So this one felt like it would do pretty good if you got good throttle control and can roll on the throttle. Hard pack surfaces, it felt like this one could actually roll on pretty good. The hard hitting, I would honestly just run everywhere. I am a pro rider, so I got decent throttle control, but that smooth linear would actually be pretty good in ruts. On a rut track that's a little bit slower, coming into some of those ruts, if you don't have that compression braking and can carry a little more speed with some confidence into those ruts and just lay the bike over, I feel like it would kind of benefit into that area. Other than that, I'd run a hard hitting on this track. This track's pretty wide open for the most part. I guess it's kind of a faster third gear. It has a couple second gear sections, in that hard hitting, I left it in third gear though. Once again, thanks for watching my video. Go subscribe to my channel. I'm hoping to jump on an 18 CRF 450 here pretty soon and give you the scoop on that one. Have fun out there, ride safe, and for those of you buying the bike, have fun messing around with the mapping. Hope this benefits you guys, and be safe out there.
That wasn't bad.
Which one do you like better, the hard?
Probably the hard hitting.
Yeah.
I feel like that one you can just be lazy on the throttle and it's still, you can run it in third gear even if it's